Hey guys, Joker the Fool here, back at it again, and this is a review of The People. This is, of course, a comic from Zaid Comics. These two issues were originally released as ash cans, but they have been re-released in a full-size format, issues 1 and 2, with a sketch cover. So hopefully one day I can get an epic sketch of the Horsemen and the People duking it out on this cover. But for now, you just see that blank cover, which is why I introduced this pretty epic back cover. You got the people with that American flag background, which very much exemplifies or is emblematic of this character's overt patriotic theme, which I really like. And I love how this book opens. You've got this really quick opening scene that just throws you right into the action. In media res is the formal writing term. And then you've got this epic 2-page spread that serves as the title page, The People in red noise. And you've got the credits there, Philip Diaz being the writer, Dan Dahl being the penciler, and then Avery Butterworth being the inker, doing finishes as well, where that means Dan Dahl just gave very basic layouts, and Avery would have finished those pencils and then inked this art. And it is absolutely fantastic art. It is only in black and white, which feels like a missed opportunity to me, considering this is a very American character. So American comics are typically colored. I would love to have seen this art colored, especially The People. I think his character design is really, really cool, and it would look even cooler in color to see that red, white, and blue just being really stark and bold on the page. But this black and white art is absolutely fantastic. It's really strong in the action scenes. So these action scenes are really well drawn. The character designs look absolutely fantastic, and it really feels good. The weakness for me in the art is these transition scenes, and I think this is where the book is at its weakest. What we have in these scenes between the actions is that the People has an alter ego of Thomas Adams, who is a courtroom sketch artist, and with that, it gives us context for why he does what he does. This is the People being a vigilante who has a very strong moral code. Like Batman does not want to kill. He wants to bring criminals to justice. So he wants to incapacitate criminals and bring them to justice through the legal system. And of course, this is all happening in Chicago with its rampant murder, SA, and all of these missing people. And of course, gang violence. That's the context that the story takes place. And I believe Chicago is the city where the Lost Pages is centralized. Of course, the People first appeared in the Lost Pages, and when I did my overview of the People, I mentioned that I really liked the idea of the character of the People. Would love to have seen more of them, and I'm really glad that these two issues exist, and you have this as full-size art. Would have been nice for these to be colored, so I think they will be doing more of the People, and hopefully this gets re-released again when we have more of the People and it's all colored, because like I said, this art is absolutely fantastic. It deserves to be colored, and even the weakest points of the art serve the story well. All the layouts are very, very nice, and of course these 1 and 2 page spreads look fantastic. So the first issue really establishes the character of the People and builds this context for the second story, which takes place with the silhouette. So, and like I said, you know, these action scenes are just laid out so well. They just really grip your eye, and they really draw you in. So it really makes the transitionary scenes feel a little bit muted. And like I said, you get some characterization exposition, but I feel like a little bit more would have cued us into cued the reader in a little bit more and gotten us more invested. But it's not bad by any means, and I think Phil could be going for a slow burn with revealing stuff from the People. But I certainly love the character of the People, what I know about him so far. And of course, this first issue ends with introducing the silhouette being, you know, People versus the silhouette, which is a really interesting move to do. And of course, this makes the People feel like it exists within the Lost Pages universe, because the silhouette appears in the Lost Pages, excuse me. And that certainly makes this feel like the Lost Pages exists as a hub, and these characters are spokes along of this hub, rather than them all being parallel stories that just, you know, happen to take place in the same universe, where it doesn't really feel like that. This is absolutely a fantastic way to tie everything in, and with the silhouette being a brutal vigilante like Horseman is, or like Punisher would be. It leads to this fantastic conflict where the people wants to let criminals live and have them see justice, and whereas the Silhouette says, just get rid of the trash, basically. And that leads to a classic conflict that exists between vigilantes. So this isn't really doing much new. Although I think the people's character design, I think this concept does help differentiate him a little bit and doesn't make him feel as stereotypical as he otherwise would be. It certainly isn't doing anything radically new in the vigilante genre, but it's doing it well, which is really what you want for a good action-orientated superhero comic. And like I said, art is just fantastic, and I think it definitely improves a little bit in this second issue. And when these spreads show up, they look fantastic. And these action scenes, which most of the book, I would say, is the action scenes. It's very quickly paced. You've got a lot of action. It's all laid out fantastic. And like, this is an epic 2-page spread. And all of these action scenes, like I said, they're laid out so fantastically, and they give us a lot, I'd say, of insight into the characters as well. Especially the second issue with the people in the Silhouette, because a lot of their dialogue happens while they're fighting. Basically, all of it happens while they're fighting, because they're not on good terms. They're trying to get onto good terms, but they have this disagreement about how to deal with criminals, like I had just said earlier. But it still really draws you in. Like I said, if some of the transition scenes, some of the scenes where he is Thomas Adams, or they're focusing on the characters that they're trying to save that aren't superheroes, were expanded on just a little bit, I feel like it would have cued us in even more, gotten us even more invested. But it's definitely something where that information can be revealed in later issues, because what's here is very compelling. I certainly do like it. I love all these character designs. I just love how everything's laid out. It gives a very digestible feel to the art. And like I said, the action really just shines, which for a comic like this, if the action is good, then it's going to hold up everything else. And everything is definitely presented well. So it's not like an incoherent mess. It's not like the writing is bad or anything. All the lettering is very serviceable. And I especially love the Silhouette having that black lettering. It just makes his character feel like, very dark and broody, which is definitely the tone of the Silhouette. And the art, like I said, is just fantastic. It's very well done black and white art. The shading and the toning looks fantastic. And of course, everything is clear and presented. And since most of these scenes take place at night and are dark, on the black and white, the color isn't as missed as it otherwise would be. But like I said, if seeing all of this in art, seeing all of this in color would be really nice, especially with the people's character design. I mean, like the face paint, his costume would be, very bright red, white, and blue. And to see all of that in color would be really, really cool. It would really just amp up his character design. And that's the one thing I see missing with this book, is that it's not colored. And I think that's, like I said, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, especially considering it's a classic American comic book. And you do have a lot of interesting things with the people. Apparently was a war veteran. He has a friend, Tex, who barely survived. You can see him here. He's kind of like a cyborg there. And you've got that playing in as well. It's all very short. It's like 1 page or so. Like I said, scenes like that could have been expanded to give us just a little bit more of like who Tex is, who Thomas is, because we have a good idea of who the people is, but who Thomas Adams is, the courtroom sketch artist that is the people's alter ego, who's sketching out in class courtrooms in the day. And in that scene where he wants justice to be served, and he's familiar with how corrupt the justice system can be, which drives him to that vigilantism. It'd be interesting to see more of that rather than just seeing, rather than the focus being so much on the action and the other people as well. So that's one thing, of course, where are going to be more issues with people, as he's at the very end. The art's a bit mature, so I don't necessarily want to show that off, but it definitely has a lot going for it. I'm very interested to see where Phil is going to take this story next. And of course, the character of the people, like I said, it's definitely differentiated enough to make it feel unique, or make him feel unique, like a cool vigilante character. Although I don't have years of reading The Punisher or even Batman or stuff like that to really be sick of the vigilante type character. So if that's you, you might just be done with the genre in general. But this is definitely really well done. definitely really like what they're doing with this character. I definitely hope to see more of it, but I certainly need a bit more exposition along with those beefy action scenes, because those action scenes are what really hold the comic together and what really elevate it as high as it is. But it's really compelling stuff so far. Definitely interested to see where they take it. But that's all I have for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff. Joker is out. Thank you for stopping by the Velvet Room. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with Velvet Room Publishing, and go to velvetroompublishing.com if you want to go even deeper into the Velvet Room.